Okay. Hold on a moment. Let's, once we get people in, looks like I'm checking technology here. This is last minute registration. So I don't, hi there. I see some people popping in. So if you are in the Zoom room with us, can you say hello? Hi, Elizabeth and Robin, and let me know if you can hear us. And if you can hear us, then we're good. And I'm going to go out to Facebook. So just in the chat, say, yes, we hear you. That would be great. And I'm going out here to make sure. Okay, we're streaming on Facebook in the right group. That's always important. So if you're on Facebook, can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear us okay? We're going to get started in just a moment. So real quick, waiting for the yes, you're goods and all that good stuff. Yep, perfect. So Zoom is good. I assume Facebook is good. I'm Carmen Hunter. I'm the founder of the Institute for Functional Health Coaching. Most of you know me, but many of you are new to the Clarity Group. So just so you know, I founded the Institute for Functional Health Coaching back in 2017 after helping health coaches for 4 years try to get off the ground with their businesses for free. And with many trainings, I have turned my experience of over a decade into a blueprint for health coaching, a 360-degree turn business model. And one of the reasons why, and I'm gonna let Nicole introduce herself, one of the reasons why I am wanting to talk more about the prep course and the board certification and what's coming and the opportunity that that we are presenting for coaches is because we are looking for serious and focused health coaches that have their foundation set up for their business. And I'm talking about the legalities, you guys, having licenses, having insurance, understanding, what it means to be an entrepreneur, but most of all, the desire and the resilience and the passion to help people in a way that stays within our lane as health coaches. Over the last couple of months, I have been doing extensive research, having conversations, exhausting myself and trying to find out why we have so few health coaches that are actually working. What the heck is going on? Health coaching schools are blowing up. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of health coaches out there with certifications and a handful of people that are actually successfully helping people. So why I bring this up is not to judge or shame anyone. If you decided that it wasn't for you and you moved on, great. But if you went and got a certification and you have invested in your business and you know this is what you're supposed to be doing, something's holding you back. I don't know what that is, but we're here to hopefully give you a little nudge forward because the knowledge that you have is worth something and there are people out there looking for you. And I'm not here to convince you guys. I'm here to tell you that we are working on a way to connect you with actual warm leads and clients. We are putting our time into this, Nicole and I, and we are only speaking to those of you who are ready to take this leap and are ready to make this business a go. If it's not for you or you're feeling tentative about it, no shame or anything like that, but this is not the webinar for you. So that's what I want to say about that. We're just going to keep pushing forward. I'll share more about that as we go. Nicole, your turn.
Hello. Hi, Carmen. Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Kimmel. I'm the president of ANWCB. I'm very, very excited to share more about it. Some of you guys already know about it. Some of you have tested. Some of you have prepped and tested. So in addition, you may have been on some webinars. I'm also the admissions director for GMA, which we'll be talking a little bit more about that too. And Carmen is so right. If you've got a certificate of education and you have worked so hard to learn these things that you love and know and want to share, why not take the extra step? License yourself, protect yourself, insure yourself, board certify. When you board certify, after you've taken the prep course, which you're going to learn a ton of great information there as well, after you board certify, you're going to be put in a really cool group of people working with Carmen very closely to help you grow your business. There are going to be some qualifications for this group, and Carmen's going to go through that, as am I, a little bit later. But we're very excited to share it with you. We want to kind of change, alter, adjust, whatever you want to use, whatever word, to make coaching something that I think everybody wants it to be, but somehow hasn't really ever. And I'm not trying to generalize because I know a lot of you guys are working, but for the most part, after doing the beta testing and running people through our prep and our test, the results have not been what we expected them to be. So we're just trying to come up with ways that we can help you succeed even better than you already are.
Yeah, that's great. Now, Nicole, is there any way you can stabilize your phone? There's a lot of movement on your end.
Yes, let me see. Let me see.
Sorry, I just don't want to distract anybody.
I'm sorry, is that better, Carmen? Or
perfect.
Is the light awful?
No, it's good. You're good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll just say like this. Okay.
Yeah. So great point about that. And the thing is and the reason why these two people you guys are listening to and looking at right now, you're not going to get any more honesty, transparency, tough love, and candid conversation than you are from us. Because here's the thing. It's because we know how valuable the knowledge that you have is, but we also know how sick our world is, and that the disconnect between coaches and the people looking for you is huge. There's a massive, massive gap between, what's going on here. Where health coaches should be helping people, you're not. So I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to come back and look at the comments, or maybe hope to get some feedback from you guys. Tell us, give us some insight. Tell us why you're not working. We want to know from you, why don't you have clients yet? Why don't you have your business set up yet? Why do you have a certification, but yet you aren't coaching people? We want to know these things because, and I know you feel the same way, Nicole, but of all the trainings and all of the things that we have offered and put out there for free, and at very budget-friendly prices, there's absolutely no reason that people shouldn't be working, right? And here's one of the things I want to bring to y'all's attention is there's a couple myths in the health coaching world. I've done trainings on them. I'm almost tired of talking about the myths, to be honest with you, but I have to say this. You don't need any more knowledge about health and all of those things. Like, you don't need another $7,000 course about, the gut biome or autoimmunity, or become gluten free certified, or any of those things. You've got to use the knowledge you have right now. So by chasing, certifications and trainings that give you more of the same, to be honest with you, or things you can learn on Google, is not a good use of your time. In my opinion, what I'm finding is that it's kind of an excuse not to move forward in working with people. So I feel like there's a lot of fear here. Like, you guys are afraid you're going to fail, or you're afraid that someone is not going to want to work with you, or I don't know what it is, but it seems like fear. So I need to hear from you guys what it is. What are you missing? What is keeping you from working? Nicole,
if they're working, sorry to interrupt, Carmen, if you guys are working, what are you finding that's keeping you from moving forward, or that's keeping you from the annual revenue that you want per year? What are your goals? What do you see would be something that could sustain you? I mean, some people may want to do it part-time and make an extra $10,000 a year to be able to buy some drapes and a front door, where some people may want to make $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year and do it full-time. But if you are working, I'd like to know too, what are you doing? What would you like more of? What do you need more of in order to be successful? What are you seeing out there, with whether or not you've got a brick and mortar or you're just doing it online? What is going on? Because what Carmen and I are doing is we're trying to, everything you tell us, we're trying to build the products, fill the gap, fill the lack. So whatever that is, there are people that are ready to help you do that. But if you're not telling us, if you're not sharing or engaging in this conversation, it's hard for us to know what to do for you. We think we've got a really cool plan for you that Carmen's going to share with you here in a second. I'm going to follow up to it, that we think will be the perfect combination to help you get going, whether you're already established or not. Because my husband is a naturopath, and we have a clinic in Sarasota, Florida, as some of you may know. And we've got very specific, clear-cut systems in our clinic that work for us. And if we didn't have these systems, we wouldn't be successful either, even though we're practitioners, health coaches, practitioners, whatever you want to call us. We all have to have systems in place to be successful. And if you don't, ask the questions, tell us so that we can help you.
Yes, thank you for that. And so let's start there, and let's just a couple of things I want to remind everybody. We launched the Back to Basics Business Boot Camp. We call it B4. It's so much easier. When this whole COVID virus thing happened, the first thing that went to my head is, oh God, now we're going to have even more coaches that are going to not know how to work, or they're not going to have what they need. So I quickly created the Back to Basics Boot Camp beta testing. We did 2 rounds so we could make sure we had everything done, of just fast forwarding you guys to get out there and work. The feedback was fantastic about the boot camp. We overextended ourselves a million bajillion with the value that we offered. The beta testing is now done. We have a price on the boot camp now of $597. We launched it at $37. Over 135 of you took advantage of that, and our attendance was very high. So I know the desire to health coach is there. The desire is there. What we heard for feedback was, oh my gosh, I never realized that it could be this simple. I heard that over and over again. Thank you for making this simple, right? So what I believe, and Nicole, tell me what you think about this too, is I believe that you guys have been given a lot of information, misinformation about what you really need to be successful, which is, you have to know all of this, and you've got to have all of these pieces in place, and the technology is this. And we're going to talk about websites in just a moment too, because that's one of the things that I hear all the time. but I don't have my website done, so I'm not ready to work with people. But I don't have my email list built, so I'm not ready to work with people. It's like one thing after the other. And in the boot camp, you know, this is what I brought my marketing expert in. I think she spent over 5 hours in 2 classes. I mean, she just gave it all. You know, we touched on this. You don't have to have most of the things that you think you need, right? So the excuse about that is it has to go away, right? You got to just stop making excuses for why
You
you're
can
not
always
working.
continue to look for something else that will be that excuse, for sure.
Exactly. It's going to be one thing after the other. So with that said, and I want to remind people of this too. And Nicole and I have been in this business for a long time, almost 11 years for me and more for her. But I can tell you this, I did not have anything, no website, no Facebook, no group, no nothing, no funnel system, no signature program. All I had was a printed out intake form from my computer and a big mouth. And I built a waitlist practice. When I say waitlist, now let's touch on that real quick. For me, a wait list was I could only handle 12 clients, one-on-one clients in a month because I was getting overwhelmed emotionally and physically trying to keep up with everything. But I was making a nice income doing that, right? So when I say wait list, you guys, it's different for everybody, but it was a practice that worked for me. And it was the hours that I wanted. It was the amount of clients that I wanted. I learned a lot through it, but I did it without most of what you guys have today. So again, there are no excuses. There has to be something inside of you that wants this bad enough to override all of those things. So Nicole, let's talk about Holistic Health Link for just a quick second.
Okay.
Because I want you to talk about, because I just said that about websites, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to share all this stuff in just a moment, but can you briefly just kind of say, what can Holistic Health Link, what does it offer as far as like a paid website is concerned? So we can use that as an example.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So as most of you may know or not, I build websites, I build systems, I build back-end systems that are really complex, not so much a homepage where you see an about and a contact us, but the back-end systems where I really let technology do the work. We've done that with Holistic Health Link, and that's something you can take advantage of as a health coach. So if you haven't gone there, the URL is holistichealthlink.com, and you can see that there's 2 sections on the website for practitioners and for coaches, 2 sections. So what we've done is we have built some dedicated directories, which you will now see. And I don't think Carmen's even looked at it yet because we just launched it today. I just finished up the testing on it today. So on the very top right corner, you'll see dedicated directories. If you click that, you're going to drop down. You're going to see some dedicated directories, which literally means dedicated directories. If you don't do that, you can see that on the middle of the homepage, there's a search bar. That search bar, you can search for anyone by name, by city, by zip code, by state. You can also go down below that search bar and you'll see that you can search by category. So if you're a practitioner, you can search by naturopath. If you're a health coach, you can search exactly by health coach or wellness coach or whatever that is. So look at that there. And then once you can see that you can search anything that you want to for any type of person, even if it's from another city, another state, then go up to dedicated directories and you'll see dedicated right there in that title. Thank you, Carmen. You will see the drop down for board certified coaches. What's cool about this is when you become board certified, Carmen's going to be telling people about you guys. And once you do, your name is going to automatically be added to this dedicated directory, and your emblem that you see there to the left is going to be automatically posted to your listing. You don't even have to do anything. It's just automatically going to be posted. The thing though that you have to think about is you can be on this directory without being board certified. And you can be a coach that's got a listing and a profile, but you won't be added to that dedicated directory, which is where Carmen is going to be sending people, because she wants to know when she sends people that need a health coach, she wants to make sure, because it's her reputation, her credibility as well. She wants to make sure that the coaches that she is sending these people to are going to be high quality. They're going to be top of the notch coaches that have done everything in their power in this industry to be those people. So we're excited about sharing this with people because now we've got a group that we can say very definitively, we feel comfortable sending you to these people. They've passed the exam. They've gone through the prep course. They have everything in place to run their business. One of the biggest things I hear all day long from practitioners and coaches being a consultant in this industry is that people may have a really good grasp on their education and on running a business, but they just don't know where to start. They don't know where to find people. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't have enough money to market themselves. They don't have a website. This is a custom URL one-page website. This is not another directory listing where you've got a .com/123ABCZDF. This is holistichealthlink.com/profile/whatever your name is. So in this particular case, Reed Davis, for example, you can literally use this listing as your website. If you have, or you are desiring an informational website only. And when I say informational, I mean static. Static means it doesn't do anything. It's just information. It just shows your bio. It shows a contact form. It shows where you can get in touch with someone. It gives them the information they need about your office hours, about modalities, about techniques, about your specialties. This is exactly what Holistic Health Link gives you. If you want a website, or if you have one that is more dynamic, that maybe it has a quiz that's interactive, or maybe you have a cart system built on it that you need to have e-commerce put there, that's totally fine. Because here's the thing I want you to know. In doing websites for over 20 years now, if you don't optimize that website, and there are two ways to optimize a website. You can do it on page, which can be done by you if you know how to work the admin side of a website, or technical. We do both with Holistic Health Link. So because we optimize this website, and it's a tricky task. I don't even do it myself. I hire this done because it is a specialized thing to have done, and it costs a heck of a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a website and you're hoping people will find you without your URL, they will not. Mm-hmm. Because if it's not somehow optimized and somebody's putting a keyword in, they will never find your website. But what they will find is this directory with your name in it. And if you already have a website, they can find you here. And as you can see, it says visit website underneath the profile picture. From there, it takes the person directly to the website. So this can either be your website, or it can be an extension of your website. Either way, you are going to be found on Holistic Health Link way, way, way sooner than you'll ever be found on your own personal website. The only way your personal website will ever be found is if you give someone the exact URL. Yep. The ways that people find Holistic Health Link is if someone goes in and puts health coach, Sarasota, Florida. They will never find you if you have that on your website, because it's not optimized. And if you are optimizing it, awesome, but you're probably spending $1,000 or more a month. I have not talked to anyone yet, practitioner or coach, that even most of them don't even have a website, but if they do, they don't optimize it. They've never heard of it. They don't know about it. So this is what we're doing for you in the background. So if you're thinking about spending thousands of dollars on a website, if you get board certified, you can purchase a listing on Holistic Health Link for $25 a month. That covers hosting, that covers optimization, that covers everything that you need to run your business very, very successfully. Now, if you don't get board certified, you can still purchase a listing. It's $30 a month for those that are not board certified, but you won't be added to the dedicated directory.
Right. Fantastic overview. And I'm so glad that I remembered what Reed's listing was here, so I could show an example.
Very good.
Yeah, we did this in the webinar for FDN the other day, talking about the prep course and the board certification. So right here, we're taking one of your excuses away from you. Okay. Right here, we're taking it away. I spent, when I first got my branding done and my website done, and I put everything into my website. So I'm going to share this with you guys, and I want to share something. I'm going to share this for a reason. Okay. And many of you who have been following me for years have never even been to my website. They'll say, oh, I tried to find you online, but I just decided to email you instead. And it's exactly because of what Nicole is talking about. You know, I used to throw $15,000, $20,000 a month on Facebook ads and hope that they got out here, or hope they got to a particular program or whatever. You know what? $15,000 to $20,000 a month is not feasible, especially during these times, right? But these are my websites, right here. These two websites right here cost me almost $10,000 to brand, to put together, to host. They're beautiful. Colors are gorgeous. Yeah, they function like they should when people come here. When people come here. So let me just say this. If I were only health coaching right now, I would save myself quite a bit of money. I would probably shut down one of these pages, right? Because I wouldn't need them both. And I would go with a listing that leads out to the website that tells a little more about what I offer, or maybe to get them to opt into something or something like that. But it would not be the face of my business. It just would not. I'm telling you, when I say I've made a lot of financial mistakes when it came to building things and creating things when I was a coach, and I have made them all. Nicole, I wish I'd known you were around then, right? If this was even there. But, but my point is this, is you never know where you can shave things off with your business until you get information like this. $25 a month is nothing for a list in a directory, dedicated directory, that I am going to be driving leads to. Now, let's talk about let's talk about that for a second. And then we're going to go into the other thing we're going to share with everybody as an opportunity. So I'm going to stop the share right here. I know we have questions in the Q&A. We will get to them in just a moment. All right. So for those of you who missed my announcement I guess it was last week, here is what, and I'm in the middle of making calls about this. It's happening. It's going to roll out in September. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get adjusted, but here's what I'm doing. So I have decided that I am going to pull my focus back from, I guess the health coaching space or whatever, education space, because I have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of training. I have so many courses and opportunities for you guys at such budget-friendly prices to purchase from and learn from, that me talking to you guys again about safety in the health coaching profession, or talking to you again about how you know it all already, or your confidence, it's not serving me. It's not serving me in my business. It's not helping people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting an educational series, Back to the Basics. I haven't called it that yet, but I'm coming up with a name, where I am going to be interviewing experts, just like I used to, but with a different caliber of knowledge. We're going to be talking with some people that have a very wide range of knowledge about many different things, right? And I am going to be interviewing them to the general public. So I'll be streaming into my Facebook. Maybe I'll be doing some things on Instagram. We'll be holding webinars where people will sign up, not coaches. The general public will be signing up for these things, and I will be marketing to the general public, just like you guys are. I'm going to be marketing to like the same types of people you guys are. The difference is that at the end of these interviews, I am going to be driving people to that dedicated health coach directory. Okay. So what does that look like? Let's just say I'm doing a quick, let's say Nicole is an expert on immune system health, and I'm interviewing her, and she's sharing all of her knowledge about the immune system at a more layman friendly, basic language. Okay. We're going to get away from all this big talk that's scaring everybody. And we're going to start talking to people about what they can do right now, and how they can take control of their lives. At the end of the webinar, I'm probably going to say, so if you want to find out more information about Nicole and what she has to offer, you can go here to her website as a courtesy to the person that I'm interviewing. Or if you're interested in working with a health coach that's board certified and ready to work with you, and that we recommend, here's the link for the dedicated directory. Okay. So I'm in essence going to just be a walking billboard for health coaches. I just did an interview this past week. I promoted health coaches on there. She promoted health coaches on there. I am just going to do that wherever I'm interviewed. I'm going to talk about you guys. And if you're not, the thing is I'm going to market for you. So that's another excuse I'm taking away from you. I am going to be marketing for health coaches and how valuable you guys are. Now, I'm going to let Nicole talk about what's required to be a part of that dedicated database. So I'll let you take it from here, Nicole.
Okay, sure. I wanted to also follow up with one thing that on the Holistic Health Link website, one thing we added to the directory that most other directories don't have is get linked. So if someone doesn't even know what they're looking for, and all they know is this is how I feel, this is what I'm experiencing, I'd like to work with someone in my local area, or I don't care, I want to do it virtually, or it doesn't matter, or I want to do it in this geographic area, they can go to the tab Get Linked, which is an advanced search for the public, and they can put in, I'm experiencing this. And there's just a laundry list of different types of symptoms that they're experiencing. I would like to work with someone in my local area. I don't care. But there's a huge long list there. And what happens is, as the coach in the background, you've set up your profile already with your specialties, your modalities, your techniques that you work so well with, those things that are your favorite things to do, and those things that you're most educated to do. And then if someone comes along and they fill out things, and they click the submit button, if you want to click get linked to a coach, Carmen, right there, then you can kind of see what this looks like. So they have the opportunity to fill in all this information. When they click whatever that is on if they click like the average session cost, the check mark, what your interests are, whatever that is, whatever you filled out in the background, it's going to match it up and populate a list. So you might be found as a health and wellness coach. And even if they go to the practitioner site, they're going to, whatever populates the quickest is what those people are going to be matched up to. So you can see right here that someone may not even know someone. They might not have a name. They may not have a city, but they can go right here and decide what they want to do, click the submit button, and then it populates a list. And so here's the deal. And you don't have any there, but this is the deal. We cannot launch this directory until we have people in the dedicated directory. So thank you. That was the perfect opportunity to do that, because that was my next talking point.
That's what I was going to show to him.
Yes, we cannot go out to the public. Carmen cannot go out to the public and start promoting this dedicated directory if we don't have people there first. So we've got to have, we feel like between at least 15 and 20 coaches, 15 to 20 coaches in the dedicated directory, not just on Holistic Health Link that you've just joined as a coach, but in the dedicated directory, because that's where we feel most comfortable sending people. So we've got to have 15 to 20 people that are in this directory that Carmen can say, go here, and you can put in the name right there. Now they can still go to the Get Linked feature, and that's fine, and they'll still find you. But what Carmen is driving is this dedicated directory, and you can see it's got its own URL at the top. Certified, yep. I can't really see it because it's so little.
Board certified coach directory.
Yeah, thank you. Board certified coach directory. So it's its own dedicated directory, and that's what Carmen's going to be driving traffic to. So if you guys are thinking about building a website, anything at all that has to do with time and money on the marketing end, online, any kind of online presence, this is really the answer to it as far as the amount of money you're going to spend, which is next to nothing, because a lot of you know hosting alone is that much per month. So this is really a great way for you to have all those things covered.
Yeah. So for those of you who are new to us, actually, let's take a moment and then we'll talk about the requirements to get in there, right? So let's look at the questions here.
Oh, yes. That was the original question. Sorry about that, Carmen.
That's okay. That's all right. Tara. Okay. I use 2017 to work at a rec center teaching group wellness workshops and froze with the transition to online coaching. I'm not sure of how that looks. It looks exactly the same as it does in person, only you're doing it online. And Tara, the group coaching, I don't know which programs, if any of mine you've taken, but I do group coaching in the boot camp. I do group coaching in IFHC. I've taught individual group coaching programs. And I teach how to do it online and out in the community. It's the same thing, but you got to have a little bit of technology to do it. That's all. It's really not that big of a difference. Yeah. I'm going to point this out too. I love that Tara said this to us. I would say my hang up is finding people that are serious about reclaiming their health. And the same thing is for us. Our hang up is that we're having trouble finding coaches that are serious about claiming their business, about claiming this as a business. So at that point, to your point, we know that there's coaches out there that are dedicated, that want to do this for a living, that want to help people and know their value and know that they deserve to be paid for what they know. Tara, there are people out there that are serious about their health. They know that they want to invest in you. They'll put their fingernails and their lattes on side to get help, on the side to get help. So they're out there. I know they are. I promise you. It's just a matter of how we're showing up and are we bringing those people to us, right? Like Nicole and I, we are fast talkers. We are no bullshit. We're out there. We're not for everyone. Someone else may want to go to a school where people sing Om and pray before everything. That's not us, right? We're not for everyone, but we've got what you need if you're serious about making this business work for you. So
yeah, the business tools for sure. And some more opportunities that are coming along for board certified health coaches, which I talked to Todd this morning, haven't even had a chance to tell you, Carmen, which has been cleared by Todd now. So we can share that as well.
Okay, great. Let me answer this and then we'll go right into that for sure. So Elizabeth, so from the beta group and do the prep course and pass the exam by August 1st, we will need to join the Holistic Health and pay $25 a month to be included in the group you mentioned to work with the doctor, even if we have our own website. Well, okay. So did we decide what we're going to do about the first round?
So you don't have to be in the board certified health coaching group. That we're not saying it's mandatory. We're not telling you go out and spend $25 a month. All we're saying to you is that when Carmen is sending people to a health coach, this is where Carmen's going to be sending them. So you can still become board certified. You can still run a successful business. You can still have a Holistic Health Link listing, but just know this is the directory where Carmen will be sending people. So we're not trying to punish you and we're not trying to make you spend extra money, but what we're trying to do is create a group of people that Carmen can send people to that need help with their health. And we feel comfortable knowing that these people are at a level that can definitely help them instantly. And what we found from beta testing and some of the testing that's been going on since, even making some adjustments, is we're not finding a lot of passing scores here. And some of it's lack of attention, because my husband and I have gone back through pretty much everybody's individual test, and there's statistically and historically, there's some very specific questions that are being missed. And you guys, these are not questions that are hard. These are questions that you're not paying attention to. Because if they were questions that were difficult, we have removed the difficult questions. We have altered the difficult questions. You have to pay attention, because some of these are just like, oh my gosh, how was that missed? So it's really more of just sticking to and paying attention. But don't think this is a webinar for us to force you to buy a Holistic Health Link listing. This is not about this. This is us sharing with you a pattern, a system, a way for us to drive traffic to you so you can find people that need you, that are looking for you. And we have to know that when we send these people to you, that you are qualified at the highest level.
Yeah. And so let me just make sure I mention this too. If you were in the beta group and you did the prep course, but you didn't do it live with security turned on, you have to have taken the board exam with security turned on in live mode to be qualified to enter the training, which starts the first week of August. We're going to sit down literally next week and pick out who is going to be able to be in this group to be added to the training on Facebook in a group with me. There's no additional cost for the training, you guys. No cost for the training. This is me giving my time again to you guys to get you ready, because it's that important that to be able to do that. So if you've done the beta and you've done the prep and you've done the exam, but you haven't done it in live mode with security on, you're going to have to go back and do it again. That's part of passing it with the live mode turned on.
And Carmen's got the coupon code for that, you guys. It's something in her email that she sent to you. So you've already got it. We've had a couple people come through, but there is a coupon code for people that have not beta tested and have not gotten their certificate yet. But if you have beta tested and you have gotten your certificate, you don't need to reapply. All you need to do, and Carmen's got this in this email, is it's a $200 fee to come back in, which is half price of what it costs if you were coming in from the general public as a health coach. But it's half price of that. And since you've already applied, you don't want to reapply. You just need to pay $200 to have 2 more attempts at the exam put on your exam dashboard. Carmen's got all that information of where to send that money, and she'll get that to you at the end of this.
Yep. And then also this, the prep course is $100 off right now till July 31st. There are 31 days in July, right?
Yes.
Okay. I had to look at my calendar.
I had to look at mine too.
Yeah. So, and that the price of that, I mean, the coupon for that is $100 off prep. We'll put it all in the comments and stuff, you guys. But so it's still $100 off. The board exam is still 50% off until the end of July. So even if you don't want to be in this opportunity that we're providing, to be able to purchase those at a significant discount, it's like $300 off or something, is an opportunity for you guys. Okay.
And
all right.
After that, we're still going to offer it. It's just not going to be discounted. So don't feel like you're going to miss out. We're going to continue to offer it.
Yeah, it's going to be there. It's going to be a static thing. You guys can join it at any time. So let me put something out there to say this as well. First of all, the reason why I'm doing this on my part when it comes to training you guys for free, when I just finished the boot camp, for excessive amounts of hours and whatnot, why I'm investing my personal time, my free time into this, is because when I go out and I start educating the public, I'm going to be just as passionate about getting behind what you guys do as I am about all of the things that I talk about all of the things that that are important to me. So, if you know me at all by now, you know that I'm a go-getter. I'm a AAA personality. I'm going to put everything I have into doing this. And the main reason is this, is I want people to start getting well, and I want coaches to start working. And there's a beautiful marriage that can happen right there. So if I have to put just a little more oomph behind it to make it happen, then that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm trying to offer here. Tammy has a question in the chat. Will you be changing or adding to those linked areas at all, or are they set? For example, would you add something like addiction, like adding any kind of issues in the get linked?
Yeah, so the get linked on the practitioner side has more symptomology. I wasn't looking at it when I said it. It's more categorical on the coach side. But the problem with adding a word like addiction is that's a word that really, in our area of not being state regulated, we shouldn't be dealing with addiction. That's not really what we're doing at all. Now, we may be giving ideas and suggestions and education on ways for someone to feel better and to grow, and that will maybe pick at the addiction. But to absolutely speak about addiction, I was a coach for 2 years, 1-to-1, behind a closed door, like a quote counselor, although I was a coach. I had that come up so much, and it's unethical for me as a coach to work with anyone on anything that has to do with something that a psychologist would work with someone on, or a psychiatrist. So if you're not trained in addiction at a pretty freaking high level, I would not be discussing addiction with anyone. And I don't mean that mean, I just mean that from the legality side of it, because you could really dig yourself in a hole. As soon as someone brought up addiction with me, and they were there to talk about nothing but their mind, this wasn't even a health like body. This wasn't talking about thyroid and hormones. This was talking about their mindset only. And I had back-to-back people for 2 solid years that about killed me. That's why I went into the product side of it. But I mean, when anything got brought up about addiction or about trauma or about sexual abuse or anything like that, just don't go there with people. I just wouldn't. It's just a risk. So I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but probably on the coaching side as well as the practitioner side, I'm never going to put anything categorical or symptomatic that's going to touch into the medical side.
Okay, and then let me add on to that also, though. I don't want anybody feeling hopeless about this, because if addiction is something that you are interested in helping people with, like Nicole was saying, you know, you can provide resources and suggestions and support, but not therapy focused support. So don't go like if it's, and I know what Tammy does with her business, and I know this doesn't apply to you, so don't go getting upset, Tammy. You and I can talk about this later. And the approach that you're taking is safe. So let me say that too. But anything like trauma or anything like that, you guys, no, we're not going to sit across from someone with our pad of paper or tell them to lay down at their couch at home and then start diagnosing, prescribing, and saying what's going on with them.
And labeling.
We can investigate with them by asking in questions and turning them inward, right? And having them find the answers within themselves. But to tell them what's going on, no. Okay, so I just want to be really clear about that. There is a method of approach to this. I teach it in everything I do, boot camp, IFHC, HCMM, all of that. You can still help people with these issues, but we also talk about when it's appropriate for referrals and how to go about doing that. So I just wanted to put an exclamation on that, because I don't want anybody going, oh, well, there goes my business, you know. Nicole
I agree, Carmen. Yeah. And I call that appreciative inquiry. I learned that in my master's program of organizational behavior. That's what I studied. So I learned a lot about the competencies as well as the ethics. And there's a very, very strong boundary there. So just know that you can do the aiding through appreciative inquiry, but that means asking the right questions, allowing them to come up with their own answers. And you just continue to ask questions, because if you're posing a question, you're not telling anybody to do anything. You can create that way of doing that and be very strategic about the result that you want just by asking the questions, and then they come to their own conclusions. And that's even more powerful for them than anything you could ever tell them.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and take the questions in live mode. In the Q&A, the one I was reading was live mode, and because that's your area right there for board cert.
I do not see questions. I'll
ask them. I'll go ahead and ask.
You. Okay. And I'll answer.
Yeah. How do we know if we did the test in live mode? I have no idea if I need to take it in live mode.
It's always in live mode.
But if she was a beta tester.
Oh, well, if she hasn't taken it again since the beta testing, it was only in test mode. So if you have not taken it since you beta tested, you have not taken it in live mode. I think the only person that I know of that's taken it in live mode that has passed it, congratulations, Jane, is Jane. Because everyone else beta tested, and there were some people that passed it in beta test, but they have not attempted it in live mode yet, except for Jane, and Jane did pass. Okay, so the steps for them to take it in live mode? It's the same thing. I mean, when I say live mode versus beta, we're really just talking to the beta testers. Anybody that's going to be testing from this point forward is in live mode. So really, when we talk about beta mode, that was just for our beta testers, and you guys know who you are. So anyone that's taking that now is in live mode. So the qualifications that we have been trying to discuss, that Carmen's been trying to ask me about, that I'm going to get to now, is the requirements to board certify. So you have to have some kind of education, certificate of education, something that has to do with coaching, natural health. There's a broad variety of things. Of course, IFHC automatically qualifies you because they're accredited. So send your information into us. That's all your credentials, every single thing. I do not want another board certification sent to me for your credentials. You can send it if you want. Like, say you have AADP, that does not qualify you for this. Education only is what qualifies you for this. So I need to see your education credentials. You don't need a letter of recommendation, but you will need to upload credentials. And really the only other thing that you upload is a copy of your passport or your license, so we can make sure that you are you. There's no application fee. You are immediately either approved or not based on your education, which will let you know if it's not. And once you're approved, you get an email that says, you're going to be getting another email from the exam dashboard soon. Here's your login credentials. You're immediately going to log into the exam dashboard, which is different than our website. And you're going to take the test in live mode. All the tests from now forward and have been, since we have launched this, and since Carmen and I started talking about this, have been in live mode. So everybody's in live mode now. So when you take the exam, you have 90 minutes to take it. It's a timer. Security is turned on. There are 75 questions that are pulled from a bank of 100 questions. They're all true, false, multiple choice, or multiple correct, which means there could be more than one answer. Some of the people that I have noticed when I go back historically and look at the data are missing those multi-corrects.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yes, if the question says there could be more than one answer, there's more than one answer.
Yeah, that I think is one of the things that's going on, as I think, because when I was looking through the questions myself, the first thing that came into my head about why people were missing so many questions was that I think they're answering because they see an answer that fits instead of going through each one that says, oh, all of these could be.
All of them. But if you get one that does not say that, in that it does not say there could be more than one answer, there's only one answer. If it says there could be more than one answer, just know there is more than one answer.
Yeah,
that's a little tip.
Let's stay here for a minute. I know we keep jumping all over you guys. There's so much to like cover here though, because yesterday there's so many people that are so nervous about this. Everybody's like, I'm so afraid. I'm so scared. I'm not a good test taker. I'm not a good this. And you know what? I get you on that. I'm not a great test taker myself. You know, in college, it was one of the reasons I quit college is because I just couldn't stand the anxiety of having to take an exam about things I didn't feel passionate about and didn't understand in a lot of different classes. So I understand test anxiety, but here's the thing. It's been probably 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30 years for some of you since you've had to take a test, okay? So we understand that there's going to be some anxiety about that. We understand that, but just know that anxiety that's bubbling up is not probably from what you know today. It's probably from the fact that you're putting this story on yourself that you haven't taken a test in so long. You're amping your own fear and anxiety up for no reason, right? So I think that's where people are getting tripped up, and then they're anxious when they sit down, and then they look and they choose one when they should choose three, or you see what I mean? I think the anxiety is overrunning some of the thought processes.
I think you're right, Carmen. And I think what I'm going to do, as I was saying it out loud, is I think on those questions, I'm going to change it to there is more than one answer instead of there could be. Because that, I think just those two words are going to make a difference in people's ability to kind of consciously know what that means to them. So I think I am going to change that. But yeah, you're exactly right on that in terms of taking an exam. But you guys, if you take the prep course, 90 to 95% of every single thing on that exam is in the prep course. And there are some questions that are not in the prep course because it's a prep course. It doesn't mean you're going to get every single question and every single topic covered. Some of the ones that people are missing that are not in the prep course are very, very much questions that you should know as a coach. And I'm not talking a health coach. I'm talking a coach. Take away health, take away anything. Just as a human being a coach to humans, there are some questions in there. One about the subconscious and the conscious mind. You should know the difference in that. Yeah. And if you don't, maybe look it up. Whether you're learning it in school or not, you should know that. Yeah. So there, in addition to the prep course, there's an exam support document that is in the notification on the exam dashboard. It's posted on the FAQ. You can download that document and it gives you every book, every resource for every single bit of the material on this test. Yes, there are lots of books there, but there are some there that, gosh, you guys may not even know about. And what a cool book list for you to want to jump into and maybe learn a little bit more about something that has to do with specifically coaching.
Yeah, good point. Okay, hold on a moment. June says, let me answer Linda first. Do you feel that we should not call one of our essentials trauma? No, I wouldn't have named it that if it was going to get anybody in trouble. Because all we're talking about is nothing any different than how to eat whole food, move our bodies or whatever. As long as we're practicing within the lane, within our lane, using language and the approach that I teach you guys, it doesn't matter what we call it, right? It's not in an unsafe list of words for the nutritionadvocacy.org, so to speak.
Well, and Carmen teaches it to you as a coach. That doesn't mean that you go out and ask people about their trauma. Like, she's teaching you educationally what that is. But as far as you bringing up, well, tell me about your trauma, clearly that is not something as a coach you're going to ask someone to do. However, trauma is going to come into the conversation. Someone's going to bring it up, whether they use the word trauma or not. You're going to have to be aware and vigilant enough to know that that's what they're talking about, which you guys can do that and already are doing that. But as far as bringing trauma into the conversation, you can ask the right questions to get answers about trauma without saying trauma. So just be creative about it, be strategic about it, and be smart about it, and learn to ask questions and have a top 10 question list. I had one in my office, a top 10 most powerful questions. Some of my favorites that I learned when I got my ICF coaching license was, if you had a magic wand and you could wave it, what does it look like? What does your outcome look like? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this to you? Blah, blah, blah. So there are some things that you can use to get some answers for yourself and for them that they give you. You don't even have to do it.
Right. So, and the intake form, the 26-page intake form that you get with the school, I've told you guys over and over again, make it your own. one of the questions you can put on there is, are you familiar with the ACE study, the Adverse Childhood Experience study? That's a way of saying, of kind of getting them to open up about whether or not they know about trauma. They wouldn't have taken the ACE study if they didn't have somebody that directed them in that direction in some way. Now, here's the other thing. I tend to say that if you're having a conversation with a one-on-one, and we don't mean to go off the cuff here, but I want to make sure I'm super clear about this. And I'm talking to someone and they say, you know, there's something I can't put my finger on. So I've done everything to get well. I can ask the question, do you feel there have been any unaddressed traumas in your life that you want to dig into or look into for yourself? It's about your language too. It's not you saying, well, you've suffered trauma, you need to get some help, right? It's not saying specific things. It's all about how we present ourselves and the words that we use. So don't be afraid to have the word trauma in the conversation, but you're not using that as a diagnostic prescriptive terminology that makes you look like a physician or a psychotherapist.
Right. Or trying to solve their trauma. Right.
Yes. So let's move on from that. June says, can you talk about the details to be filled in on the application for board cert and which link select, as there are 3 options? I'm confused.
There's only two application options. One is for the board certification, one is for accreditation. Accreditation is only for schools, and board certification is for people that are health coaches. So I don't know, unless she's on the practitioner site, I'm not sure where.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So let's go ahead and then again, we've got, so if you want to get in, let's touch on this real quick. Then we're going to touch on the thing you talked to Todd. As a reminder, and if those of you who are really motivated and want to get this done, to be considered to be a part of this group that we're opening up for training private focused serious coaches to get dropped into the dedicated directory, you have until the 1st of August to get the prep course done. You have to have taken the prep course and you have to have passed the board exam in live mode. Those 2 things have to have been done. With that, you have to have at least your licensing, your insurance. It's very important to stay safe and protected, and some form of a business foundation laid in place to show that you're serious about being a part of this. Okay. Now, I don't remember, Nicole, if what we decided to do, the price for people that are coming into the group in August is $25 for the dedicated directory, correct?
Yeah, it's ready now for anyone that's board certified. They can join now, and it's $25. You can join on your dashboard. You cannot join it directly on Holistic Health Link. You just go to your dashboard, go to member resources and benefits. You'll see all the companies and organizations and products listed. You have a dedicated link that's the link that you will click to be added to this directory. If you go to Holistic Health Link directly, you're going to be paying $30 and you're not going to be added to the directory. I did not put this on holistichealthlink.com because I don't want every health coach going there and joining. I only want the board certified health coach going there. And the only way a board certified health coach knows that is by going to it on their directory, or going to it on their dashboard, meaning they wouldn't even have that dashboard if they hadn't passed the exam.
Okay. Well, they have to pass the prep course too.
Yes.
If you haven't taken prep, you don't get into the dedicated directory.
Exactly.
That itself is an education and a training.
Absolutely.
And anybody that's taken it will tell you it's literally like a mini course on coaching, physiology, anatomy, motivational interviewing, safety, legalities. I mean, it's all inclusive. And I always just have to say, Shannon Spears, one of my graduates in my student support and one of my team members did a phenomenal job putting that together. So I always want to give kudos to her. I don't want anybody to think that I did anything to do with that except for, supervision. That's it. So very, very pleased for the job that she did. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Job. And let's talk about licensing too. It's not a requirement for anyone to have a GMA license to be in this group. It is a suggestion. It is a high suggestion. So don't think that we're asking you to go get a license to be in this group. It is a suggestion, but I would take that into consideration because until just about a year ago, we weren't even allowing health coaches to have a license. But now we're really putting our butts out there because we're getting some good coaches. We're vetting really heavy on them, obviously. And if you're board certified, you're automatically going to have that. So just know that.
Okay. Yep. And Shannon's asking the question here, if we are already paying for Holistic Health Link with GMA, do we still need to pay the additional $25 for this portion?
Nope, you absolutely don't, Shannon. Great question. I have it. I'm moving around you guys because my phone's going to die. I'm going to stabilize again.
Okay.
Hold on real quick, guys.
That's what you answered that.
I have the ability on my administrative side to be able to add an emblem and automatically put you in that directory. So what I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks is I'm going to be going through everyone who's with GMA and is board certified. I'm going to be adding that emblem and adding them to that directory. So I'll manually be doing that for all of those coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also have to go through the list anyway of who took the prep and who did the live board exam. We got to go through that. We're going to have conversations, you know, do they have everything in place? Did they say, well, you know, did they need to have their hand held a lot? You guys, this is, and there's we're not sitting here trading like, I don't want to seem like, no, you're in and you're out. I don't want to like I don't want anyone to be the last person play on the team to, you know, to be chosen for kickball. Okay. That's not what we're trying to do here. But we have to know that there is an element of entrepreneurial minded, you have to have an aspect of that, of entrepreneurship, to be able to take those leads that you get and run with them. Because we're not here to support you once the lead lands in your hands. We are going to anticipate and believe that if you've taken a lead, when you get on the holistic health directory and someone reaches out to you and they say, I found you on HHL, I have fibromyalgia, you specialize in fibromyalgia, I want to work with you, that you are not coming to me and you're not going to Nicole going, okay, oh my God, this client wants to work with me, now what? Because we're not here to support you beyond that. We're doing everything on the front end. That's why these things are required. And we want to know that once that person grabs that coach and says, I'm going to get help from this coach, that person knows if I've sent them to you from a live I did, I don't want to hear from that person that says that coach did nothing for me. They didn't even have their contract in place. They didn't know how to do a disclaimer. They didn't have their camera set up on their computer. I don't want to hear from the general public, you guys, after I send them to you. I want to trust that you know what the heck you're doing and you're happy with the lead, yay, for $25 a month, and they're getting taken care of. And I don't have to babysit, okay? Because I don't have time for that, neither does Nicole. That's why we're being picky about this group. We have to be. I have to protect my time just as much as Nicole. So
it's like trying out for the dance team. You can't just go be on the dance team because you want to be on the dance team.
That's
so
right.
You may want to be a part of this group, and want is one thing, desire is one thing, but the action that you take to really make that happen is the group that we're looking for. If you're not that person, that is totally fine. But for us to send you people, we need to feel really good about the people that are working together with those that we're sending.
Yeah, absolutely. Heather's asking, I received my board certification. I'm assuming I took the test in live mode and did not know it. Is that correct? No.
Is she a beta tester?
If you were a beta tester, Heather, then you would know if the timer was running, because you would be watching that timer to make sure you finished in time.
Yeah, no beta testers have taken it in live mode except for Jane. So if you already have a certification, that will be the certification that you'll have, but you can't be added to the directory until you pass it in live mode. So you'll just have to pay $200, which is 50% off, to be able to take it 2 times in live mode.
Yeah. All right, Lydia, is the LUFSA curriculum inclusive of the prep course? Let me say this. I would say that all throughout the Institute for Functional Health Coaching, 18 weeks of content, you would probably find about 70, maybe 75% of the content from that, maybe. Not exactly in the right words, not exactly in the terminology that you might find it in the board exam. So my thing is this: if you're a student and you feel confident with what you've learned and you've got a history of anatomy, physiology, and some motivational interviewing anywhere else or whatever, you may not need the prep course. You may not need it. But if you want to be involved in this opportunity, you have to take the prep course. And so I don't know. I don't know if that answers the question, Lydia, but we've had students take the board exam and not pass it without the prep course. Our most recent person from FTN, she took the board exam. She failed it miserably. She took the prep course. It raised her grade 14% and passed her.
There's significant difference.
Yeah. And there's stuff in the prep course that you guys don't have in IFEHC that you're going to learn as well. Now, we added a whole bunch of training in there. Thank you again, Shannon, for that. But I can't say that it's all inclusive. No. Okay. June, which board certification title do I select, or you get to choose whatever you want, whichever of those functional wellness coach, holistic health coach, natural, call yourself what you want. We're giving you the opportunity to choose which one you want to use. Right, Nicole?
Yeah. And the functional one, I really feel like people need to be trained a little bit in functional. So I wouldn't choose that unless you've got that kind of training. It's a little bit different than just being a health coach. So I would choose something a little more generic if you're not specifically trained in functional.
Okay. This is the third option I was talking about. I don't know what that means. Is there a question, June? I don't know if there's a question. Heather, can we get back into the prep course through our original email as a beta tester? Yes. You don't need to pay for the prep course again. You've already paid for it. You have lifetime access to that. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about what else we're going to offer.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Let's not use any pricing. We need to talk about
No,
that
no.
first. Yep. But let's talk about what's coming.
Yes. So I spoke with Dr. Todd Frisch this morning. Some of you guys have already met him through his face reading webinar that he did with Carmen last year. He also is the Shape Reclaimed founder and formulator. If you've heard of Shape Reclaimed, you may have heard of it through Carmen again. You would know his name. He is super excited about working with health coaches. I'm going to have to relocate again.
Okay.
He is super excited about working with health coaches, but he has had the same issue that Carmen and I have had with who do we send people to that we feel are ready for an opportunity to work with a program. Shape Reclaimed is a program that my husband and I offer in our clinic. He's a practitioner for the program. It is an amazing starter. It's an amazing program to add if you're already practicing or if you're already offering services. A lot of chiropractors that offer Shape Reclaimed actually have stopped adjusting, and now all they offer is Shape Reclaimed because the success of this program is so incredible. So Todd has agreed, because he's only offered this to practitioners up to now, and he has agreed that if you guys go through the prep course and the board cert, that he will allow the board cert to be his vetting for you to become a Shape Reclaimed practitioner, which is huge, because everything that I'm seeing both on practitioner and coach side is I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I have no clue where to begin. So this is a system that you can use for every single person that comes to you, because it's an anti-inflammatory program. And I'm not going to get into the details of all of how it works and all of that, because coming up soon, Dr. Todd is going to be doing a webinar with Carmen as one of the expert interviews, hopefully sometime in August, but we'll be bringing you more about that. But with Shape Reclaimed is also a program called Self Reclaimed, which I created after I did Shape Reclaimed about 10 years ago, kind of as the guinea pig for my husband, who was going to think about bringing it into our clinic. And it worked remarkably well, but it didn't really talk too much about the emotional side of eating. So I presented a program and an idea to Todd, and he said, let's do it. So some of you already have Self Reclaimed. Several of you bought it last December when I did a webinar about it. But the cool thing now is that you can offer Shape and Self as a health coach when you become board certified. That gives you two systems. It gives you a body system and it gives you a mind system. You can either work with people through Self one-to-one, or you can sell it, buy it wholesale, sell it retail. You've got an outlet for them. You've got a coach in a box for them. If you don't want to do that work with them and you just want to stick to the physical side of it. But they have lowered their prices. They have completely transformed their entire business to include health coaches. And I'm so excited because I've been fighting for this since I've known Todd, and even more recently, really hard since Carmen and I met last summer to bring coaches in. But there was just not a real good way to vet a coach, because with a practitioner, we've got a GMA license and we've got a state license. And if they have a state license or a GMA license, they're automatically qualified. Mm-hmm. But for health coaches who didn't even know about a license, and we didn't even offer the license from GMA to a health coach until just recently, there was no way to do that. Right. But the GMA license is not the vetting for Shape Reclaimed for coaches. It's the board certification with the prep course, because that is the complete ability for us to know that you can work with a client doing the Shape Reclaimed program. The license is great for protection, but that still does not tell us that you have a 360 approach at knowing how to offer this program as a health coach. So that's why Todd said, let's do it with that board cert. So very soon, Carmen will be bringing Dr. Todd to you. He'll be explaining Shape. He'll be touching on Self Reclaimed. But these two programs, you have your insurance, a license, possibly, board cert with the prep course, and Shape Reclaimed and Self Reclaimed. As soon as you get your certificate of education, you've got literally everything you need to go out and start offering your services.
Yes, yes. And let me just say this. Even if you added it all up, if you added everything up that we're offering, I don't think it even gets to over what, the $1,200 mark.
Oh yeah, no, because they've lowered their prices.
Close, right?
With Shape Reclaimed now. The Shape Reclaimed price to get started is unbelievably amazing now. So I'm not going to go into the pricing details because they're getting ready to launch that, but it is so affordable. That was another reason why I didn't bring it again, and neither did Carmen to coaches, because not only did they not qualify, they also could not afford it. Yep. So after I talked to Todd and his staff and said, please, let's work on this and let's try to think of something we can do to help these coaches, he was so excited about transitioning to give coaches this ability. Yeah. Yeah. And again, you guys, that's another one of the things, I'm glad you brought that up, is that, coaches say, well, I've got this and this and this, but I have no idea what's the first thing I do.
And if there's one question that I hear repeatedly or read in these health coaches groups is, yay, it's a big picture of their certification. I finished my certification. I'm so excited. I've got my education. What's the first thing I do? Which is, which blows my mind, right? That there's any schools out there that don't even at least get you started on the business track, right? Because we do everything. At IFHC, we do everything. Business comes in the front end, and then we work our way through. So we're going to, adding this self-reclaim and shape reclaim actually just adds it even more to the system that you already have. So those people coming into the training in August also, by the way, you're getting the intake process to work one-on-one with people. I'm going to train you on my system, education, preparation, action, right? To do one-on-ones. You add shape reclaim and self-reclaim in there. I mean, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Seriously.
And there's coaching for Shape Reclaim. There's a whole coaching program. So don't think, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to do that. They've set up an online coaching program that as soon as you become a Shape practitioner, you have access to that. They will train you on exactly how to implement the program. They've got all the marketing set up, all the banner ads for Facebook, all the materials that you need. Everything is completely done for you. It's literally turnkey, anti-inflammatory program. So it will literally affect every single person you work with. Everybody could do this program. It's not going to leave a soul out. So consider that, and also know that when you become a Shape practitioner, you are part of a community of people like no community I have ever been a part of. They have a yearly Shape symposium in Missouri, and all the Shape practitioners come together, and the training that we get there from some of these experts that you will never meet anywhere else is unbelievable. And just the camaraderie and the connections that you make with these people is really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, what I see and believe this to be, and I'm going to get more educated on it as well, because I've looked into it, but I'm ready for the webinar myself. We've got a date, hopefully will work, but let me say this to you guys. So I'm just going to give you a realistic view of what I see coaches doing, because I work with them every day and mentoring with my students and whatnot. I will see a health coach bring in a complicated case, right? Someone with like a chronic condition, autoimmunity, something, going on. And they'll be like, well, I think that they need to get these labs, and I think that this supplement might work, and I think that this might work. It's like a throw it at the wall and see what sticks approach. That increases the stress of your client, right? When you're not sure of your approach, how can they be solid and trusting in your approach, right? How can they feel confident in the approach? Shape and self-reclaim, first of all, will be a general approach for your people. Number one most important thing in your health coaching business, if you are not practicing a general approach, you are not staying safe. General approach means what you would share with one, you would share with all. So if you get one woman that comes to you and says she wants to lose weight, she wants to get the inflammation in her body under control, and you say, hey, Shape Reclaim would be great for you. And another woman comes to you and says, I've got inflammation, I want to lose weight. And you say, oh, I've got an elimination diet for you, and you do this. That's not general. General would be, I have these options for you, Shape Reclaimed, elimination food plan, or whatever. Which choice which one feels best to you? A general approach means that anybody that comes to you gets to choose, because everything that you share and suggest would be beneficial for all.
Okay? Absolutely. And we see that, Carmen. We see that in our practice. I want you guys to know this is not only a life changer for you as a coach and for obviously the client who's going to maybe lose 50, 100 pounds. My husband holds the record for the most weight loss in one person via distance. A lady that he worked with lost 175 pounds, and he's never even seen her. I mean, they do some Zoom and they see each other's face, but they'd have never been together. 175 pounds long distance. There are so many practitioners that literally are just making their practice Shape Reclaim because it's such an amazing program, and the revenue that's made from Shape Reclaimed is incredible. So if you guys think, oh, I'm a health coach and I can't make a lot of money, BS. Shape Reclaim is going to be a program for you that we will show you. The Shape coaching program will show you. And I'm happy to also share it because I do a lot of training with Shape practitioners on how to do it via distance. I think Stacy, my husband, is the main trainer for that. So we share this information. Stacy and I speak at the Shape Symposium every year. We are intimately connected with Shape and how it works. So we want to share that with you so you can go out and build revenue. It's okay to build revenue. Just know that, because a lot of you think, oh, I can't charge for my services. And you know what? You never will make any money. So charge for your services. You are worth it, and you have enough education to do it. So just know that this could be the answer. It's a great extension of the education you've already gotten.
Yeah, I agree. Let me go to questions real quick. Yeah, Tara says it's so awesome that Shape Reclaim and Self Reclaim. It is a fantastic program. Training for the people who have finished the prep course and the board cert starts August. Well, we say August 1st is the deadline because I'm getting organized. I have to get organized, and I can't get stragglers coming in and me not knowing how many people I'm teaching or what's going on or who needs to be added to a group. The first class we're having is August the 6th. So I have to know who's coming in by August the 1st. I need time with my team, with Nicole, with Shannon, to look at everything and to make decisions about that. So Lydia is saying, I don't understand the reasons why we need to get our cert by August 1st. Financial or money incentive, I don't know what that means, but you don't have to get your certification by August 1st. You only have to have it if you want to be a part of this group, because I have to have some structure to the timeline. So,
and you can be a part of the group later, you guys. It's just that you aren't going to get the discount. The discount is the August 1st deadline. So don't think you can't be a part of the group. The only thing that has to do with August 1st is the discount.
That's right. That's right. That's it. That's the only thing. Yeah. And Tara's just saying she can't wait to hear more about the products. Okay. All right. So what else haven't we covered? Does anybody have any questions? I'm looking out on Facebook real quick, but Nicole, can you think of anything that we have not covered yet?
I think it feels pretty complete. I'm sure that everyone would agree. We've covered a lot. So
we have, but we get a lot of questions after we do these things. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how to be more clear. But I am going to put the prep course in on the Facebook page. You get 100 off prep is the coupon to put in. Please don't buy it without it, because we're not doing refunds if you accidentally buy it. We've done lives on this, and I've said it over and over, emails and everything. Please don't spend more money than you need to. Use the coupon. That's why we created it for you guys. Let me see. I'm going to look over in the chat as well. Okay, Elizabeth, what was the second thing Nicole mentioned about paying another $200 for 2 more tries to take the test?
Is this person that's asking the question a beta tester?
Elizabeth? I don't think so. Elizabeth,
okay.
You're not, are you? I don't remember.
Okay, well, if you aren't a beta tester, it's $200 until August 1st. The regular price is $400. And Carmen has all that information to give you the coupon code for that. But just know that it's the same test. You get 2 attempts for $200, which is regularly 2 attempts for $400. But that's the deadline of August 1st that you get that coupon code.
Yeah. And then June says, do you get the result immediately when we go in the live mode?
Yes, it's immediate. The second that you submit it, it immediately tells you your score.
Okay. Oh, okay. Elizabeth's saying beta tester for what? Then you don't know. The beta testing we rolled out when we started the prep course and board exam was a couple of months ago, where we had a bunch of people come in, beta test the process, make sure there weren't any holes in any of the content, helped us to tweak the prep course and the board exam. And there was 1 round of beta testing going through. So obviously you weren't a part of that. So no need to worry about any of that stuff. Okay. All right. So with that said, let's see here. When will you offer the boot camp again? Danielle, actually the boot camp is available. It's just available at a different price now. So the price for boot camp is $597. I'll plug the link into the comments here. It's ready to go. We've done everything. We've loaded all the information into the boot camp that we learned in the first 2 beta testing, and we filled the holes and gaps on that as well. Let's just make sure no one else has questions. Heather said, I am sorry, but I have an email from Nicole saying I've completed my board cert. I got my score in live mode. I'm confused. I think I took it in live mode.
Who is this?
Heather Sunderland.
Was she a beta tester? I think she may have been.
If you were a beta tester, Heather, you did not take it in live mode. You got your certificate. You got the announcement that you got the board cert, but you didn't take it in live mode, which is needed to see if you qualify for this group that's coming up that we're putting together.
And the reason for that, just so everyone understands, if you were a beta tester, is all security was turned off. All timer was turned off. You could have taken 6 hours to pass the exam. You could have looked stuff up on Google, and that's fine because beta testing wasn't for that purpose. But now for this purpose, everything has to be back in live mode, which means security is on and time is on, and you have to get a certain score. I mean, it's very, very specific for this particular purpose.
Yeah. Okay. She said, okay, thanks. Elizabeth, are the questions on the exam based upon the material in the prep test? Yes. Or in the supplemental resources. So yes. Nicole was saying, there's books and books and books, and you can read all the books, or you can just do the prep course, which is all encompassing. And the board exam is based on the prep course. They crisscross with each other. And then Tara says the boot camp was awesome. Thank you. I love teaching that. That was one of the most fun trainings I've ever done in both of them. Everybody was so engaged, and it actually kind of lit a fire in me again about the fact that there are coaches, which is kind of what brought us here today. I know that there are those of you out there that are excited about this, that have this passion, that want to make this business, what you do and your life's purpose. It is your life's purpose. And that really kind of that's kind of how we ended up where we are right now, is that, there are thousands of health coaches out there that I have been talking to since 2017, trying to motivate you, trying to babysit you, hold your hand, motivate you, train you, cut my courses, cut my prices, give away my free time. And still we have hardly any health coaches I see that are successfully working. So my goal with this was get the boot camp done, see who's serious, who's interested, and then create this focus group. I don't know what else to call it besides serious.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's a focus group. Who is focused and determined to make this business, to create a business out of their passion and to help people. Because my God, the people that are sick out there right now, blowing my mind how many people are out there complaining about symptoms and problems they're having, you guys. It's getting worse and worse. And we're going to continue to see it get worse because of the trauma and the stress people are under. We thought people weren't well before. Addictions will be on the rise. Depression will be on the rise. Gut health, immune system, autoimmunity, brain health. It's all going down the shitter, faster than it was before. So if you have doubts about whether you're needed, I'm telling you right now, you are. So if you're sitting here going, well, I don't believe you, well, goodbye. Because I'm telling you, you are. And when I start talking to the general public and start funneling people your direction, if you're in the directory, you're going to see how many people are there. So let me say this too. So this is kind of what I'm excited about. This is the stuff that turns me on. I'm in the process of reaching out to specific experts to bring in to talk to the general public. And one of them today that I'm really excited about, he's called the Holistic Savage. He's on Instagram. He is just a badass across the board. And he knows so much amazing information about organic acids and the gut health and all that. But he when we talked today, he said, I am so happy to hear you say that you're going to get back to the basics with people. He said, the general public is being force fed all of this really non-layman friendly language about health and wellness, right? We've got functional doctors out there talking about the gut being the second brain and all, but Joe Public doesn't understand that. They're like, what does that mean? The gut is the second brain. They're not even thinking about what whole food is. So we are going to be bringing the general public into a conversation about health and wellness that should have happened a long time ago, in my opinion, where they understand what we're talking about, that they can walk away and go, I had no idea that cholesterol made hormones. Wow. Right? Instead of hearing about the steroid pathway and their adrenal glands being fatigued and exhausted, they're going to understand the basics of how they can help themselves and find and get empowered to be able to do that for themselves with the partnership of a health coach there to cheerlead and lead them on, Anyway, so I'm excited about him. I've got a couple of people in my pocket. One's an expert on brain health and trauma that's going to be educating the general public. Hopefully Dr. Allen, who I love, the ER doc, is going to be a part of this as well. So I'm formulating my list of people. It's going to be a handful of people. We're going to be doing series, and we're going to be doing this regularly. Start with 2 times a month, and I'm probably going to increase to hopefully every week I'm going to have an expert in going live into Facebook talking to the public about you guys, okay? Make me proud. Be somebody that people would want to hire. You guys are so smart. Sitting there with all that knowledge isn't serving anyone, right? All right. Anything else anybody wants to ask questions about? Okay. I see some conversation going on Facebook. Okay, I will go in and plug in links on Facebook. On the replay, I will share the links for Nicole for the board exam, the link for the prep course. If you really want to go get it, the prep course is about 14 to 15 hours of time you need to spend, and the board the board exam with live mode and security is a 90-minute exam. Oh gosh, somebody's about to ring my doorbell.
And if you want to do the Holistic Health Link directory dedicated, the only way that you can get in that directory is through your dashboard on your board certification. So do not go directly to Holistic Health Link. Go to your dashboard and click the link there, and that will be what adds you.
Yeah, perfect. You guys, do you have any questions? I don't see anything in chat. Let me just scroll in here. The boot camp, let's see here. The boot camp refueled my confidence and commitment. Thank you, Margaret. That's awesome. Absolutely. It was my turnaround point as well, June. Thank you guys. And yes, Heather, I appreciate that. Thank you for all your hard work, Carmen, Nicole, and Shannon. Thank you for that. Trust me, sometimes when sometimes I'm like, I'm listening, I'm like, I'm hearing crickets. Like, where are you guys? Like, where is everybody? We want you excited about this business. We want you working. I want to be able to see that partnership between coaches and clients that is so badly needed right now, you guys. So, if you're serious, again, this opportunity is for you. Sheena says, I'm just starting the course. I won't be ready 8/1. When I join you later, how will I catch up, or will I need to? You don't have to worry about that, Sheena. If you're ready and you want to get in onto the dedicated directory, all you do is you just let us know you're done. In fact, I know when you're done because I see the peer review things come through. And we'll talk then. So don't worry. The opportunity isn't going anywhere to get on the dedicated directory. It will be a static directory that we continually, hopefully, continue to grow and build, where if anybody from the United States pops in and wants to find somebody, it's going to be easy for them to do so. Okay. All right. I think that's it, Nicole. I think that
Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And thanks, Nicole, for your time. I'm sure you're going to see us again.
Bye, everybody.
Let me know about the date, too, for Todd.
Yes, I will. I'll
confirmation.
Okay, bye.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.